All right, get ready because we are diving deep today
Diving deep.
into the world of English expressions,
Oh, I love this.
specifically phrasal verbs and idioms,
Yes.
the ones that can really trip you up if you don't know the nuances.
Absolutely. And they're everywhere.
Yeah, they really are.
You can't escape them.
And we're going to unlock some secrets today
Let's unlock them.
behind phrases like come through, up in the air,
Ooh, good ones.
follow suit, and even to play devil's advocate.
I love that one.
Yeah.
People use it all the time, but I'm not sure they always know what it means.
Right, exactly.
We'll clear that up.
You're in cleared up.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kick things off with come through.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we hear this one all the time.
All the time.
Like, oh, I knew my best friend would come through for me.
Yep.
But what does it really mean?
Well, I think you've got to go way back.
Okay.
Think about like pioneers forging their way across new territories. So come through originally meant successfully completing a journey, overcoming obstacles along the way.
So it's not just about arriving. It's about like the grit it took to get there.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's about the resilience.
Yeah.
And I think that sense of resilience is still like embedded in the phrase today.
Interesting.
When someone comes through for you,
Yeah.
they're not just doing you a favor.
Right.
It's more than that.
It's like proving themselves.
Yeah, they're demonstrating their reliability, their unwavering support, even when things are difficult.
It's like, I've got your back no matter what.
Exactly.
Wow. It really adds a whole other layer of meaning to that.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, language is always evolving, right?
Yeah.
It takes on these new meanings
Right.
while still holding on to echoes of its past.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about a phrase that I feel like captures uncertainty perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Up in the air.
Ooh, I love that one.
Have you ever felt that?
Oh, all the time?
Like, oh, my plans are up in the air.
I think everyone's felt that at some point.
Right. Exactly.
You know, it's like,
You're just not sure which way to go.
yeah, or like you're on a roller coaster and you have no idea what twists and turns are coming next.
That makes me feel a little nauseous just thinking about it.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns swirling around.
Okay, so where does that expression come from?
Well, I think it likely comes from the image of something literally floating without a fixed position,
Yeah.
like a balloon adrift.
Okay.
So when something's up in the air, it's subject to change
Right.
at any moment, and it can leave you feeling a bit adrift.
Right, like your vacation plans or a big project at work,
Exactly.
or even just like dinner plans with friends.
all those things.
If it feels like that balloon
Yeah.
bobbing around with no clear direction,
You know it's up in the air.
it's up in the air.
And things up in the air can either float gently back down to earth or be swept away in a gust of wind.
Yeah,
You just never know.
you just never know. Okay, let's move on to a phrase that's all about following the leader.
Follow suit?
Ooh, following the leader.
Yeah. Is it as straightforward as it sounds?
Well, the meaning is pretty clear,
Yeah.
but the origin is really interesting.
Okay.
It actually comes from the card game of bridge.
Really?
Yeah, where players have to match the suit of the card that was led.
Okay, so it's like you're bound by the rules to follow whatever suit is established.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And I think that concept of following an established pattern
Right.
translates into everyday life.
Makes sense.
You know, think about companies launching similar products
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
trends taking over social media.
Oh, yeah, that's a good example.
It's all about following suit,
It's all about going with the flow.
going with the flow.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's tackle a phrase that's a little bit mischievous.
Ooh, mischievous. I like it.
To play devil's advocate.
Ah, yes.
This one gets thrown around a lot, but do people really understand what it means?
That's a good question. It's not about just being contrary for the sake of it, right?
No, it's not about that. It's
Oh.
actually a strategic tool
Oh, okay.
for critical thinking.
So it's like when someone in a meeting intentionally takes the opposite stance,
Yes,
even if they might agree,
exactly.
just to kind of spark a deeper discussion.
To get people thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this phrase, I mean, where does it come from?
Well, it actually originates from the Roman Catholic Church.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, so they had this role
Ah.
called the Advocatus Diaboli,
Interesting.
whose job it was to argue against sainthood.
Wow.
Really not because they necessarily believed it, but to ensure all sides were considered before making a decision.
So it's really about challenging assumptions
It is, yeah.
and pushing back against the status quo
Challenging a status quo.
and making sure all perspectives are heard.
It's a really valuable skill.
It is, especially in today's world.
Yeah, where it's so easy to get caught in your own bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
So to play devil's advocate effectively, you have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone
Right.
and see things from a different angle.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Playing devil's advocate isn't about being difficult.
Right.
It's about being intellectually rigorous.
Exactly.
Yeah, and making sure decisions are made with a full understanding of the potential implications.
It can lead to much better outcomes.
Right. I like it.
Yeah.
So there you have it,
4 seemingly simple phrases.
with so much depth and nuance packed into them.
And we've got even more fascinating expressions
Oh,
to uncover
okay.
in the next part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned, because we're going to keep unpacking the hidden meanings and surprising origins of these everyday phrases.
Oh, we are.
I can't wait.
Me too.
All right, we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Welcome back, word detectives.
I love that word,
I'm
detectives.
still buzzing from our last round of linguistic discoveries.
Me too. It's amazing how much depth there is to these phrases we use every day.
Okay, what other intriguing expressions are we going to dissect today?
Well, let's talk about a phrase that's all about revitalizing those dusty corners of our minds
Okay.
to brush up on something.
We've all been there.
Right, yeah. That pre-vacation panic,
Oh, coach.
when you suddenly realize your Spanish skills are more rusty than fluent.
Yes. I need to brush up on my Spanish before my trip to Mexico.
Exactly. But have you ever stopped to consider where that phrase comes from?
Honestly, I never have.
Well, the origins are thought to be linked to the physical act of brushing.
Okay.
Imagine taking an old, dusty painting and gently brushing away the grime to reveal the vibrant colors underneath.
Oh, so it's like we're dusting off those cobwebs in our brains and polishing up our knowledge?
I love that analogy.
It really highlights how even knowledge and skills that have been neglected can be refreshed and brought back to life with a little bit of effort. Okay, so that's brush up on. What's next?
Let's delve into an idiom that has a slightly mischievous connotation, to cut corners.
Ooh, this one sounds a bit shady.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm picturing someone trying to get away with doing the bare minimum,
Yeah, you got it.
like that contractor who cut corners on my bathroom remodel.
Yeah.
And now the tiles are falling off.
Exactly. It's about taking shortcuts,
Oh, go.
often at the expense of quality.
Gotcha.
I bet there's a fascinating origin story behind this one, too.
There has to be, right?
There is.
Okay.
Imagine you're walking around a city block
Okay.
and you want to cut corners. You might literally walk diagonally across the grass instead of following the paved sidewalks.
Oh, so you're literally cutting across the corner to save time and distance.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And over time, that physical action became a metaphor for taking shortcuts in other areas of life as well.
So next time I see someone taking that shortcut across the park, I'll know they're a corner cutter at heart.
Maybe, but remember, cutting corners isn't always a bad thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Sometimes it's about finding efficient solutions and streamlining processes.
That's true.
The key is knowing when it's appropriate and when it might compromise quality or integrity.
It's all about context.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, our next expression has a particularly rich backstory. To bury the hatchet.
To bury the hatchet. I've heard that one.
Yeah.
It means to end a conflict, right?
We got it.
Or a rivalry and make peace.
Exactly.
Okay, and I bet this one goes way back.
It does. It takes us back to Native American traditions.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So certain Native American tribes had a custom of literally burying their hatchets,
Yeah?
their weapons of war,
Wow.
as a symbolic gesture of ending hostilities and forging a truce.
Wow, that's really powerful.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like they were physically burying their tools of conflict to represent this commitment to peace.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful image.
Yeah.
And that ancient tradition has become a common idiom in modern English,
Yeah.
obviously carrying with it that same sense of reconciliation.
Yeah, so if you're trying to bury the hatchet with someone, you're not just saying sorry.
Right. It's more than an apology. You're making a conscious decision to let go of past grievances and move forward.
Yeah, forgiveness, understanding.
Wow, these origin stories are amazing.
I know, right?
They really add another layer of depth.
They make these expressions so much more meaningful when you understand where they come from.
Yeah, it's not just words.
Right?
It's a reflection of history, of culture.
I know. It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is. Okay, ready for one more before we take a break?
Absolutely.
I'm all ears.
Let's talk about the idiom to bite the bullet.
Bite the bullet. I've definitely heard that one, but I'm not quite sure what it means.
It sounds painful, doesn't it?
It does.
It does involve enduring something unpleasant,
Okay.
but not in a literal way.
Okay.
To bite the bullet means to face a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage and determination.
Oh, so it's about bracing yourself for something you know is going to be tough
Yeah.
and just getting through it,
Exactly.
like ripping off a bandage.
Yeah, like ripping off a bandage or finally having that awkward conversation you've been putting off.
Right.
And the origin of this idiom is thought to come from the days before anesthesia.
Oh, no, this is not going to be pretty, is it?
Well, imagine soldiers undergoing surgery on the battlefield
Oh.
with no pain relief.
Oh, wow.
To help them cope, they would literally bite down on a bullet
Oh, my God.
to distract themselves from the pain.
Wow. That is intense.
It is a powerful image,
Yeah.
and it speaks to the human capacity to endure even the most challenging circumstances.
So it's like that moment when you know you have to do something difficult and you just take a deep breath and go for it.
Yes,
You're biting the bullet
you're biting the bullet.
and facing the challenge head on.
Often the anticipation is worse than the actual event.
Oh, that's very true.
Once you bite the bullet, you realize you're stronger than you thought.
All right. My brain is officially full of amazing linguistic insights and slightly gruesome historical anecdotes.
Well, we've got even more to uncover. Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
where we'll explore even more phrasal verbs and idioms.
Ooh, more.
That will make you sound like a true language aficionado.
I can't wait. Welcome back, word nerds. Ready for the final stretch of our deep dive into the wild world of English expressions.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, hit me with one that really sparks my imagination.
How about to get the ball rolling?
Oh, get the ball rolling, yeah.
It's one of those phrases we use all the time to mean starting something.
Right, like, let's get the ball rolling on this project.
Exactly, but have you ever stopped to picture what that ball actually is?
I guess I haven't really.
Is it a bowling ball thundering down the lane?
Maybe a soccer ball on a field?
Or one of those giant inflatable balls they use in zorbing races?
Okay, now I'm really curious. What's the real story?
Well, think a little bit more old-fashioned.
Okay.
Imagine a game of croquet on a lush green lawn.
Okay, croquet.
Or maybe bocce ball on a sunny afternoon.
Botch ball, I like it.
To start the game, someone has to literally set that ball in motion.
Oh, so it's like that first push that sets everything else in motion.
Precisely.
It's a simple action, but it creates a whole chain of events.
It really does.
So that's what getting the ball rolling is all about.
It's about taking that initial step,
Taking that first step.
initiating a process,
Right.
overcoming inertia, and making things happen.
I love how these everyday phrases have roots in such tangible physical actions.
Me too. It makes them so much easier to understand and remember.
All right, what's next? What other linguistic gem do you have for us?
Let's talk about a phrase that's all about secrets and surprises. To spill the beans.
Spill the beans. Oh, this one is definitely mischievous.
A little bit sneaky.
I
but
can just imagine someone accidentally letting slip a juicy piece of gossip.
The secret's out.
Yeah, but where does this phrase come from?
Was there some ancient bean spiller who gave rise to this idiom? Well, the exact origins are a bit murky,
Okay.
but there's a fascinating theory that takes us all the way back to ancient Greece.
Oh, wow. Ancient Greece. Okay.
Imagine people are voting, but instead of paper ballots, they're using beans.
Beans. Interesting.
White beans for yes and black beans for no.
Okay. I can picture it like a big urn filled with beans, each one representing a vote.
Exactly.
But where does the spilling part come in?
Well, imagine someone, maybe a little clumsy,
Oh.
or maybe even a bit mischievous,
Yeah.
accidentally knocks over that precious urn, sending all the beans scattering across the floor.
So the secret of the vote is revealed.
The secret's out.
That's a pretty dramatic way to spill the beans.
It is, and I think that visual of those beans scattering, revealing hidden information is likely where the idiom comes from.
It's a good reminder that secrets, like beans, can be easily spilled.
And sometimes with unintended consequences.
I love this. Language is so much more than just words. It's a reflection of history, culture,
It really is.
even ancient voting practices.
Exactly.
Okay, keep those insights coming. What else is on our agenda?
Let's explore a phrase that embodies the spirit of dedication and going above and beyond. To go the extra mile.
To go the extra mile. This was definitely motivational.
It is.
I picture like an employee who puts in the extra effort,
Yes.
or a friend who always goes out of their way to help,
Absolutely.
or even an athlete who pushes themselves beyond their limits.
That's a great example.
What's the historical backstory here?
Where did this idea of an extra mile even come from? Well, believe it or not, this expression also has roots in ancient Rome.
Ancient Rome again.
Okay. Back then, distances were measured in miles, of course.
Right.
But their miles were a bit different from ours.
Oh, okay.
A Roman mil passus was equal to 1,000 paces.
Okay, 1,000 paces. That's a long way.
It is.
But how did that become going above and beyond?
Well, imagine a Roman soldier being ordered to march a certain distance.
Okay.
To go the extra mile meant to walk 1,000 more paces than required.
Wow, so they literally went an extra mile.
They did.
That's commitment.
It was a demonstration of their dedication, endurance, and a willingness to exceed expectations.
Wow, that really changes how I think about that phrase.
It's not just about doing a little bit more, it's about pushing yourself beyond your perceived limits,
Beyond your limits.
showing that you're willing to go that extra distance, both literally and figuratively.
I love that. All right, what's our final phrase for today?
Let's end on a note of hope and resilience with the phrase, to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
To see the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's a powerful one.
It really is. It evokes such a sense of relief and optimism.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like, you've been through a long, challenging period.
Yeah.
Maybe a personal struggle, a tough project at work, or even just a really bad week.
We've all been there.
And you finally start to see signs that things are getting better.
There's hope.
Yeah. But what's the imagery behind this phrase?
Where did this tunnel and light come from? Well, imagine you're traveling through a long, dark tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
It's disorienting, maybe even a little bit scary.
Yeah. Bit scary.
You can't see where you're going, and you're surrounded by darkness.
It's a little claustrophobic.
It can be, but then in the distance, you start to see a faint glimmer of light.
Oh, the hope.
Yes.
That light represents the end of the tunnel.
It does.
It's a promise of emerging from darkness into a brighter future.
That's a great way to put it.
So that's the essence of this idiom, that sense of hope that things are going to get better.
Yes, that the challenges you've been facing are coming to an end.
It's a reminder to keep moving forward,
Keep going.
even when it's tough, because there's always that possibility of reaching the light at the end of the tunnel.
I love that.
It's been so fun exploring these expressions with you.
Me too. Who knew that such simple phrases could be so packed with history and meaning?
Right. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the English language.
And remember, the journey of language discovery never really ends.
That's so true. There are countless other phrasal verbs and idioms out there just waiting to be explored. So keep those ears open, keep those minds curious, and never stop digging deeper into the fascinating world of words.
I love that.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time for more linguistic adventures.
See you next time.